Everybody, I am Zehra and today I'm going to talk about the chapter 5 of critical thinking. Let's get started. First, if we make a brief definition to fallacies and argument. An argument is a fallacy when it contains one or more logical fallacies. And a logical fallacy or fallacy is an argument that contains a mistake in reasoning. And there are types of fallacies we can see on the screen. The first is fallacies into two broad groups. It means fallacies of relevance and fallacies of insufficient evidence. And fallacies of relevance are mistakes in reasoning that occurs because the premises are logically irrelevant to the conclusion. And fallacies of insufficient evidence are mistakes in reasoning that occur because the premises, though logically relevant to the conclusion, fail to provide sufficient evidence to the conclusion. When it comes to the concept of relevance, a statement is irrelevant to another statement if it provides at least some reason for thinking that the second statement is true or false. There are three ways in which a statement can be relevant or irrelevant to another. A statement can be positively relevant, negatively relevant, or logically irrelevant to another statement. Let's have a look at them deeply. Positive relevance, a statement is positive relevant to another statement if it counts in favor of that statement. For example, all dogs have 5 legs. Rover is a dog, so Rover has 5 legs. It's a positive relevance. When it comes to negative relevance, statements that counts against another statement are said to be negatively relevant, those statements. For example, Alti is 2 years old, so Alti probably goes to college. And logical irrelevance, a statement is logically irrelevant to another statement if it counts neither for nor against that statement. The earth revolves around the sun, therefore marijuana should be legalized. And as we see, there are lots of fallacies type of relevance. We are going to look at them by one by. The first is personal attack. When we reject someone's argument or claim by attacking the person rather than the person's argument or claim. Here is a good example. Hi, Höfner is a bad person, therefore Hi, Höfner's argument must be bad. The second fallacy of relevance is attacking the motive. The error of criticizing a person's motivation for offering a particular argument or claim rather than examining the worth of the argument or claim itself. For example, X is biased or has questionable motives, therefore X argument or claim should be rejected. And the other one is look who's talking. When an arguer rejects another person's argument or claim because the person fails to practice what he preaches, for example, X fails to follow his or her own advice, therefore X claims or argument should be rejected. The other one is two wrongs make a right. Who's talking is fallacy of two wrongs make a right, which occurs when an arguer attempts to justify a wrongful act by claiming that some other act is just as bad or worse. For example, Bart hitting your sister. Bart, well, she pinched me. Scare tactics. When an arguer threatens harm to reader or listener if he or she does not accept the arguer's conclusion, and this threat is irrelevant to the truth of the arguer's conclusion. For example, if you come to home late one more time, your allowance will be cut. And bandwagon argument is one that plays on a person's desire to be popular, accepted, or valued rather than appealing to logically relevant reasons or evidence. For example, everybody believes or does X, therefore you should believe or do X too. And straw man, when an arguer distorts an opponent's argument or claim to make it easier to attack. X wives is false or unjustified, therefore X wives should be rejected. And red herring, when an arguer tries to sidetrack his audience by raising an irrelevant issues and then claims that the original issue has settled by the irrelevant diversion. How about those Yankees? A 10-game lead all-star break. Begging question, when an arguer states or assumes as a premise the very thing she he or she is trying to prove as a conclusion. Here is a dialogue. Let's have a look then. Finally, God wrote the Bible. How do you know? Because it says so in the Bible. And what the Bible says is true. Ned said, how do you know what the Bible says is true? Because God wrote the Bible. And equivocation, when a keyword is used in two or more senses in the same argument and the apparent success of the argument depends on the shift in the meaning. Here's a good example. Let's have a look at them. All laws are things that can be repealed by the proper legal authority. The law of gravity is a law, therefore the law of gravity is a thing that can be repealed by the proper legal authority. And here is the summarize of the chapters. We can have a look then, so we can understand more. Thank you for listening.